Well, here we are on another muskie shoot with some walleye guys and a pretty good muskie angler here too. And I'll tell you one thing about John Hoyer. When he calls an audible and says, let's go to Leech Lake, and that's where we are now. We weren't supposed to be here, John.
No, we weren't.
We're gonna come to Leech Lake when he says that. Supposedly the bite's pretty good. It's late summer. Brought my buddy Korey along. He knows about as much about muskie fishing as I do, but I think we're gonna catch him. It's late summer. We're gonna fish a lot of different places, rocks, weeds, a lot of different baits. And we're gonna go out there and show you the next bite.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite. Just looking for the next bite.
And I tell you what, the monsters are in here. You know, this is a popular fishing area with all these lakes around here.
That's so awesome.
After pre-planning a big fishing trip, switching locations at the last minute can be a very tough call to make.
We're not on Vermilion, Hoyer.
I know. Sometimes you gotta call an audible.
Last month, we're gonna kill him. We're gonna get him on Vermilion.
Well, we're on Leech Lake and there's a lot of muskies here, so.
Muskies are elusive enough in their own right, let alone potentially banging your head against a wall of less than stellar fishing reports to boot. For Chase Parsons, Korey Sprengel, and John Hoyer, this call was made, switching it from their original destination of Lake Vermilion to Leech Lake, about 3 hours southwest in northern Minnesota.
We've been grinding on the rocks all day long, and just perfect conditions. They've only been following, but we're coming into the major, and just the beginning of it, and going down one of our favorite rock stretches, and sure enough, as fast as I could reel, and all of a sudden my bait stops dead.
Grab the net. Oh, that's a good one too, dude.
Oh, good one.
Oh, look at that thing.
Wow.
Oh, look how big that thing is.
Wow, that's
that
a
is
big
a good one.
Oh.
That is a good one, man.
I heard the drag just going through his thumb, and you know, finally got ready with the net, and it was the perfect timing.
Okay. Yes!
It's well known with muskies that with multiple anglers, especially for lures, that everyone tries something different and see if anything seems to get a reaction.
First cold front of the year. That one wanted to race.
But during this late summer time frame, taking the weather into consideration can potentially help narrow the scope of your lure selection down right from the start.
Big muskies. Oh, look at that thing. Blonde. Just a beast. Yeah, this one literally showed up on the rocks this morning looking for a bucktail. That was nice.
Yeah, that thing hit a long ways out on the cast, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of nice to fight them all the way back to the boat. She did not want to come off the bottom. One of the nicest things about fishing Leech Lake for muskies is there's a ton of them in here. So really you can just go out and fish the day. If it's flat, calm, and sunny, I really start off in the weeds. And what you're looking for in the weed beds is just starting somewhere where there's some life. It could be some walleye fishermen, could be marks on your graph. You're looking for bait fish, you're looking for walleyes, you're looking for bass, and inevitably there's going to be those top-of-the-line predators in that area. If you do get a cold front in the summertime, you get overcast and windy like today, then it is straight out to the shallow rocks, and you're going to want to just use speed and top waters and just go through all the shallow rock spots, and that is the way you're going to put muskies in the boat on Leech Lake. Here's one. Oh, this one's going to bite. Got her! Yeah!
I'll get you the net, Korey.
What side Hoyer?
Oh, wow. What a strike that was. Holy cow, that's a good one. It's going everywhere.
Left side?
Yeah, left. I'm gonna try. Wow. This is insane. What is this muskie trying to do? Wow, it's mad it got tricked on that figure eight. All right. Holy cow. All right. Right up to you. Yes! Dude, that was awesome. Wow. That thing was crazy. Holy cow. There you go. I've never been beat up that bad in a battle in my life, I don't think. These things are so tuned up.
I didn't know which way you were going.
I didn't know either. That one's healthy. That was awesome.
Fastest muskie ever. Old school lake, old school bait. Black and nickel showgirl. Wow, that thing wanted it. Let's see what we got here.
All right.
That is a sporty muskie. Maybe one of the fastest muskies I've ever seen in my life. That thing was flying.
I seen that thing go down on the figure eight, and I'm like, oh, this one's gonna bite, this one's gonna bite, and all of a sudden, boom, it popped up as soon as you're on the top of that figure eight and just crushed it.
Lights out, bucktail. All right, let's get her back. I think they're officially biting.
Good job, man.
I will take those all day long. I'm gonna let her go. See you later.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkley. Catch more fish. And MotorGuide. Accuracy matters. Closed captioning for the next bite is provided by Power Pole, the ultimate in shallow water anchors. Late summer can be a tremendous time of year for fishing muskellunge.
Seen that thing go down on the figure eight, and I'm like, oh, this one's gonna bite, this one's gonna bite, and all of a sudden, boom, it popped up as soon as you're on the top of that figure eight and just crushed it.
Primarily because they are beginning their most active cycle in their metabolism, continuing on into the fall.
Literally showed up on the rocks this morning looking for a bucktail.
However, it is also a time of year where major weather changes are not only to be expected, but fast moving.
That's a nice little warmer-upper.
Not exactly what we're looking for, but...
well, it is a muskie,
well,
so...
that is true.
I'm looking for one of these, for sure.
Of which muskies are greatly affected by.
Oh, jeez! Nice! Oh, man, that's good. That thing has it choked.
Oh, man. It just stopped the rod.
So while burning bucktails one day may have been the deal, it may not work the next. Loosely translated, impending patterning will hinge greatly on whatever small run of similar weather days may happen to occur.
Keep coming right to us, friend.
Yeah. Yeah!
Wow, that thing wanted it.
Yes!
Of course, the evolving weather conditions can also mean changing up presentation tactics.
I thought you were a walleye fisherman.
Yeah, well, get lucky once in a while.
Just dabble in muskies here and there.
Maybe even in some ways you wouldn't fully expect.
Right, sun, fire, tiger, Medusa. I've literally seen that probably 300 times in my life. Just take a look at that puppy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a nice Leech Lake muskie.
Got kind of a messed up eye there a little bit, huh?
I don't know if I want to be that close to her mouth after what she did to your Medusa.
Oh man, it just the second rip, it just stopped the rod.
Sick.
So much fun.
We'll take those all day long.
Yeah, we will.
Nice. Muskies are actually a cool water fish, so anytime you're dealing with peak summer temps, it's important to realize that a lot of the time they don't want to chase down a bait that's moving really fast high in the water column. So on Leech Lake this time, our best pattern has actually been to keep our baits down. So we've been throwing Medusas. We've been working them kind of quick, but letting them get down in the water column first. The other thing we've been doing is just slow rolling a bucktail and then accelerating it to the boat. So a muskie's metabolism is at the peak for the year, so they're still really hungry, but it's important to realize that they might not be in the mood to go and chase something down that's moving really fast. So keep your baits low in the water column and you'll catch a lot of fish when the peak summer temps hit. Oh, she's all rolled up on you. She's spiraling. Oh, baby. Steady, steady. All right, over here.
Yep.
Nice! Whoa! That was awesome. Smoked it. Wow, how did that feel?
You were just telling me, you're like, man, they smoked those things. And
I got what he
yeah,
says.
I almost fell out of the boat when it hit.
Wow, nice. We gotta get this thing to higher ground. It's gonna get out of this net. All right, she's off.
Yep.
Here we go. Whoa! Leech Lake, hello.
It's so awesome. You're like, man, when they hit rubber, they hit it. That was about 3 minutes ago you said that, and all of a sudden it's just like, doonk.
I felt the boat move when you set the hook, and that's exactly what you need to do. Nice work.
All right.
Should we get her back?
Yeah, let's get her back, boys.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful muskie. A natural one. She was born here. Leech Lake, natural beauty. See you later. Yes.
A really big key to using these big rubber baits for muskies is to always be ready for a hook set at any time, especially on a long cast. What you want to do is keep that rod tip in front of you, keep the slack picked up when you move that bait, and what you want to do is when you feel that strike is to give that fish everything you got. You want to drop the rod tip and move your hips and your whole body to really move those hooks in that fish's mouth to give you a really good hook set, and it's one of those small little things that to always be ready is going to put you a lot more fish in the boat at the end of the day.
Right there. He blew slack in it.
Look at him out
He's
there.
real good.
Nice one. Oh, keep it coming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I got the net.
Oh, man.
Wow, barely hooked.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Turn
Come
back
on, baby.
towards me. Turn back towards me.
Yeah. That's it. Go ahead. It's off. Wow.
It doesn't even matter what lure you use.
Unbelievable.
Dude, that thing's huge. There's another. Dude, that thing is huge. It's a giant.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's big enough that I can't hardly get these hooks out of the net because my hands are shaking.
Apparently they cue in on perch on this lake.
Oh, yeah. New bait? He kind of just gave this to me. I'm like, yeah, I'll try it. What the heck?
When they're biting perch colored stuff.
Just bobbed it out there. But my third rip with it, there was so much slack it blew in it. I'm just like,
That is a giant. Let's take a look at this puppy.
all right. Wow.
All right, hold on tight to that thing. Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, boys, look at that thing.
Are you kidding me?
What a son.
That thing looks like a fall fish. Wow.
That was just fun. Wow. Hey, good pick on Leech there, buddy.
Well, hey, sometimes you gotta call it audible, right?
Let's get this big girl back in the water. Yeah. All right. Oh. Wow. So we've definitely started putting a pattern together in terms of color of baits and style of baits that we're using here on Leech Lake. We're looking at the weather conditions to dictate what we're going to use in terms of colors of baits and in terms of styles of baits. And we're dealing with water on Leech Lake that's a little bit stained. We got high skies, it's pretty sunny out. We do have some fronts moving through, we get a little bit of wind, but we've seen, number one, that the baits that are being successful in getting the bites here are baits that go a little bit deeper. So something like this crankbait here, you'll notice perch color, something real bright in this stained water has been good. And this Medusa here also kind of in a perch color. We're actually seeing a lot of pods of perch on the graph all around where we're catching these muskies, but a bait that goes a little bit deeper, getting it down into the strike zone, and these bright, bright colors and a little bit of stained water will catch you a lot of muskies on Leech Lake.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury Marine. Go boldly. Tracker Boats. Fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Berkley. Catch more fish. Lowrance. Find, navigate, dominate. MotorGuide. Accuracy matters. And PowerPole. Swift, silent, secure. Topics, leading information, and tackle and techniques. to make you a better angler. Presented by Mercury.
Well, here you go. Pretty typical walleye day out here, just plain out nasty. But what I'm going to talk about is a non-typical thing, and that's the new Mercury V8s. And I think they're almost designed for our walleye boats. When I think about engines for a walleye boat, these big, deep V boats, what I think about is torque. Torque gives you things like a good hole shot, it gives you acceleration to run rough water, it gives you good top end speed. So torque is everything for me. Now what gives you torque in this V8 is that it's got high displacement. 4.6 liters. What that means is bigger cylinders, bigger pistons. It's just literally pushing more power through the engine by being big. Now a lot of people think, oh, big, that means it's going to be heavy. Not at all. This is actually a lighter weight engine than a lot of the two-stroke engines, so you're going to get the best of both worlds, power and lightweight. Why is lightweight important? Because that allows the back of our boats to lift out of the water, and that's what really gives us a lot of our speed. Now, when people think V8, they think fuel consumption is going to be a gas guzzler. Not at all. This has got a very sophisticated computer system on board that actually monitors all kinds of things: oxygen use, fuel use, atmosphere, things like that, so that especially at mid-range speeds, you're going to find that this thing gets up to 20% better fuel economy, and even at wide open throttle, which is what I really like, you're going to still see fuel savings over conventional two-strokes. So good fuel economy, lightweight, lots of power. But it's also got some cool things. As walleye fishermen, we use a lot of electricity, a lot of battery use. Our graphs, our aerators, our pumps, all of that are sucking electricity. This thing has a huge alternator in it. It pumps at full throttle 60 amps into your batteries, but what's really cool is even at idle, you're just moving around graphing and stuff, it still puts in 20 amps, which is very comparable to a lot of the battery chargers that you'd plug in. So you got a lot of juice during the day. It's even got cool things like this easy access cover up here, so you can check your oil and fill your oil. So this motor has got a lot of great features in it. It's actually what I would consider a home run. And as legendary announcer for the Milwaukee Brewers, Bob Uecker, would say, get up, get out of here, it's gone.
The only thing bigger than the switch in this late summertime weather on Minnesota's Leech Lake has been the Muskies themselves.
Maybe one of the fastest muskies I've ever seen in my life. That thing was flying.
Cold front and windy conditions with faster moving bucktails over rocky areas to warmer, sunny, calmer days of slow rolling. Those same bucktails, but also casting heavy plastics to deeper, weedy areas, has really shown that in order to catch an apex predator, sometimes adaptation is everything.
Right here, guys.
Oh, that one looks nice.
Almost back to the boat.
You get the net.
Oh, man.
Wow, that looks like a big one.
It's staying down, yeah.
It's a big one.
It's a big
That's
one,
a
dude.
really big one.
Oh, God, yes!
Wow.
Did you see his mouth? Wow, dude.
Oh, wow, that is a giant.
Wow.
Oh, I thought that thing was coming in the boat.
I don't even know what to do right now.
Are they biting pretty good?
All right,
well there's your 50
It's unbelievable how big its mouth was when it came up.
I felt the boat move and Chase set the hook, and I looked and his line angle was like just staying down at a 45-degree angle, and I was already thinking it might be a big one. And then the thing came up in the back of the boat. Corey's back there with the net, and it just tail walks from 15 feet away, shaking its head like a machine gun. And it takes me a lot to get excited about muskies, but when I saw that ice cream pail sized mouth, I literally was thinking mid 50-incher. By far the biggest muskie I've ever seen caught on Leech Lake. Truly a special fish, a natural Minnesota giant.
That was something really cool to witness and experience, and I mean, it couldn't have made it more exciting when it was on the surface coming in like that.
I'm still a little shaken up about that one. Wow, that was fun.
You guys ready to see this thing?
Yep. Look at this thing. What a giant.
That is a mid 50-incher.
Look at the size of its head.
Wow. And it liked Medusas.
Wow.
All right, we gotta get her back.
Yeah,
this
let's
thing
get
is
her back.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Wow. I don't know if she could grow any bigger, but holy cow.
Just a
What a
beast.
giant. That is the biggest Leech Lake muskie I've ever seen. Holy cow. Look at how heavy that thing is for summertime. I mean, that looks like a November fish. I don't think you'll ever forget today.
Probably not.
Wow. That is so big. I think she's ready to go. She wants to go eat some stuff. Some real food.
Yeah.
I think she is ready to go. We're gonna send her on her way. Wow, it looks like a submarine down there.
Look at that.
Can you imagine if that thing followed you in?
In the last day and 2 hours?
Yeah.
5.
What? I said, I don't know if I can even catch one behind your bucktail.
Behind mine?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Did it?
Yeah.
Just cleaning up all the shenanigans.
Hopefully you don't get a nosebleed.
Dude, it like ripped the rod out of my hand. It's like you just set the hook and there's nothing there.
I didn't sharpen those hooks.
Maybe it was a walleye, but something just...
A walleye biting a bucktail?
Did you honestly just say that? It probably was, 31 incher.
Something chomped on her.
Megalodon?
What is going on? Did you see that, Hoyer?
I saw you set the hook again.
You have another one?
Yeah. I have serious bucktail envy right now.
Chase, what's the difference between shooting a muskie show with you and shooting one with Keith?
I don't know, precision, positivity,
Accuracy.
The next bite would like to thank Toby Kavalabog with Leisure Outdoor Adventures. LOA is located in northern Minnesota and works with a wide variety of resorts and hotels, serving both your travel and fishing needs. For more information about Toby's multi-species guide service, please visit www.leisureoutdooradventures.com.